But I've talked to a lot of other medical doctors, and they say that the tyranny is really expanding. When you can't tell people, get lots of rest and sunshine, when the CDC says only drugs, only shots, it's just such a crime.
Yeah, and there are very few companies and individuals are willing to stand up to the FTC. There's one company, it's actually a church organization, Daniel Chapter 1, and I've written about them extensively. And I know you've spoken with them, but they are standing up to the FTC and calling the bluff of these federal tyrants that are trying to censor this information and keep the American people uninformed about natural health. So Daniel Chapter 1 could be, the David that stands up to the Goliath in Washington. So we're watching that situation very carefully.
Absolutely. I want to take some phone calls now. Any other key points you haven't added, sir?
No, let's go right to the calls, and we'll handle any questions that you'd like.
Yeah, they'll be all over the map. Lewis in Texas, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, can you hear me good?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, I got 3 quick points and a question for the doctor.
He's not a doctor. He's a health researcher.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. Well, I was alive during the Vietnam War, and a good portion of the resistance came from the university. And, this thing that we witnessed over here at the G20, that ought to pop anybody's cork,
Yeah, a lot of people are saying, how do we let the police come up and even go into dorms and attack people and shoot kids on their front porches playing ball or in their front yards with sound cannons? This is just outrageous. Go ahead.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm calling for is a nationwide, even worldwide demonstrations on all the college campuses. Against this New World Order, against, especially here, against the free, they're trying to give us these free speech zones and all this stuff. You don't want to get out there and get yourself killed like Kent State, but there's things that we can do. We got to stand up. These students, if I was a student in another university and I saw what they did to those guys over at Pittsburgh there, I'd be like, man, how fast can I get in these people's faces,
Well, see, what's happening is if they set the precedent to be able to beat people up, use police dogs on old women in neighborhoods, then they can chill free speech. And that's what this is all about, telling people if you protest, you'll be put on a terror list. They are the terrorists, the secret police terrorists doing that. And because they know that the changes to the dollar, the changes to our way of life, the tyranny, people are going to rebel. So they're trying to cow us and make us submit. Right now, these are psyops, but more importantly than just protesting, and I think that's important, is calling into talk radio, starting websites, starting flyering campaigns, because they can't stop you coming out of the middle of nowhere putting up flyers with different issues. That's what our Joker poster contest was about. And I'm going to announce the contest tomorrow. I promised the Lewis one. I've just been so far behind, got behind with Fall of the Republic, but I'm going to do that tomorrow. The issue here is that we've done this to show people the power of just getting active. I appreciate your call. What are other things we can do, Rick, Mike Adams, in your point, to really rattle the cage of the establishment and have the people's voice be heard? Or do you see my point about what will happen if we just let this chilling effect take place?
Oh, absolutely. The ruling class right now is ruling by fear and intimidation. And more and more people are waking up. I want to point this out about the vaccine. A recent poll showed that 60% of parents are refusing to give their children the vaccine. That's a huge statistic, Alex. That means that people like you and I are winning this information campaign that against all the multi-million dollars worth of public relations and advertising and promotional pushes by the drug companies, more than half of the parents still won't vaccinate their children against swine flu. That's a victory, and we need more victories like that because the truth will prevail here. All we got to do is keep on getting the truth out there, help to awaken other people around us, turn them on to the truth, and we will ultimately be victorious in this, I believe, but it's going to be a difficult process. And
by the way, now is the time, as the tyranny comes in, as everything we talked about beforehand unfolds, we have amazing credibility right now. We've got to reach out to everybody and speak out now because we could wake people up 10 years ago, but not in these numbers. People are ready to hear the truth. The establishment there is there trying to lead them around into more tyranny right now. We've got to be there to say, no, there's an alternative.
That's exactly right. You know, the American people are smart people. They can figure it out if they have access to the right information. Now, the people in power are trying to keep the Americans blind. But fortunately, websites like yours, Prison Planet, many others out there, and the information that you are getting out there, this is working. So keep up, keep doing it. Thank goodness for what you're doing there, Alex.
Well, we're going to go to break and come back and take some final calls. Thank God for what you're doing. Your sites are rivaling ours in size, which excites me. So many other people in alternative media think we're competing with each other. My show's been successful because I bring the little guys on, the big guys, everybody in between. I just want freedom for my family. I understand I'm in a race against the globalist, and I'm not doing this for fame or fortune. We certainly try to fund ourselves and be comfortable and have some assets so we can defend ourselves if something comes up. We need to be strong and powerful, so we're trying to become strong and powerful and challenge the system. That's why I've noticed CIA and FBI funded, and it's come out with some of these groups that they are FBI funded, try to create racial division, try to make the liberty movement be about race or religion. They try to divide us. They constantly fight with each other. They do this not just out of jealousy or greed, but really to divide us. That's why they attack Ron Paul. That's why they attack me. That's why they attack you. The establishment knows they're discredited. They can't attack us from their high perches. They have to attack us from rent-a-mob, false grassroots. And that's because we're effective and it's scaring the system. So I take those attacks as a blessing.
Yep. Well said, Alex. Let's keep up the good work here. Are you going to break right now?
Yeah, we're going to break. I want to get your take on that and take more calls on the other side. Mike Adams, the Health Ranger, is our guest. Stay with us. More of your calls straight ahead.